Alright, here we are back for another game of Commander. This time I had a request to build a Jarad deck from one of the viewers out there. So here it is. I'll do the deck tech probably here in a minute. I did a multiplayer game with this and I never hit my fourth land and then the guy said he wasn't going to strip lock me out of the game, but yeah, he had Strip Mine, Life from the Loam, and Oracle in play, and it was like turn 5, and I had missed 2 land drops already, and yeah, it wasn't going good. And then I tried an Emperor game, and that's what I'm talking about over here. And yeah, the guy that was the flank that I was going against was a mono blue Azami deck, and so like turn 2 he plays this wizard that makes all his wizards cast 1 less, and then I had played like Arena off of Mana Crypt and 2 lands on turn 2, and then Howling Mine on turn 3, and the guy up here on the far right played Mana Flare, which allowed a zombie to play 4 other wizards. One of them was the tap a wizard counter target spell unless they pay 1, so yeah, it pretty much locked everyone out of the game, so it was no fun. But we're going to do some one-on-one. This hand we have, I guess we're going to be up top this time. Yeah, okay. So this hand we have lands and some spells, so we should be alright, and we're up against lyzolda, the Blood Witch, the sack creature shock something. Yeah. Alright, so they're down here, so we're going to keep this. And yeah, so we Imperial Seal from Mana Crypt, so we can cast this Arena on turn 2. Go ahead and start drawing some cards. Just going to play a Hex Parasite. Draw Cradle and some lands, and play Lord of Extinction, which, okay, when we played this, I know it's really early, but even if he had a bolt or something, it's kind of like with the Tarmogoyf, bolting with no instance in the yard. So I mean, it would still be a 4/4 and live, but we just want to get something out, start applying some type of pressure, because our hand has like nothing in it. So he plays sort of pro our deck, and that's going to work okay with Lord, because we'll just pitch some of these extra lands. And Hex Parasite, we do have some Planeswalkers in the deck, but yeah, nothing too crazy. We're just going to play a land, and this was a misplay right here. We played this Reliquary Tower, I think turn 3, and now we can't cast our General yet, but it doesn't mess up the game too bad, but that is one of the misplays. He's going to swing in, untap his lands. We're just going to pitch a forest. We still have our 3rd green source. But yeah, here if we would cast Jarad last turn, we'd have 2 extra mana from Gaia's Cradle. We're just going to swing in for 5. He's going to cast his General and immediately sack it and kill our General. So that's fine. He's going to untap. Now, this card right here, the discard in your hand is not a May ability, so you'll see where that comes into effect later on in the game. So we draw Chameleon Colossus, which seems like it will be good. We're going to go ahead and play it. And my thought here is, okay, we're setting up for Genesis Wave next turn, and we were going to leave Colossus back, which is pro black for this dude, and we could double its power, make it an 8/8 and kill that if he swung in with it. No, we can't block this, so it doesn't matter. But now he hems us. Luckily, he just gets the library and the forest. And so we still have something to pitch, and we're still on the Genesis Wave plan. So, yeah. Next turn, I'm planning on Genesis Waving for 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can do wave for 6 and at least hit some lands or a couple creatures or something. So we just pitch this Diamond Valley. And I don't know what just happened here. I guess we're froze on this trigger. Yeah, alright, well, that other game, the Moto glitched out on us. What happened in that game was he killed our general and then made us sack the Chameleon Colossus. Or, I mean, he killed the Lord of Extinction and made us sack the Chameleon Colossus. Got us down to pretty low life. We were able to loan the Diamond Valley back, play it. We landed Mana Reflection. We still never got to cast the Genesis Wave, but we played a Mana Reflection because that's what we drew the next turn, so we played that, and yeah, I was being greedy with the Genesis Wave. So we were able to hardcast Kozilek to kill the sword, and then he tried to tribute to hunger us, and we were at like 6 life, so we just sacked it to Diamond Valley to gain the 10, and then we drew, a few turns later, we drew Rise of the Dark Realms, which returned all his creatures, and we had a couple more that had hit the yard by then. I think we had a Worm Coil that we had sacked to the Diamond Valley when he tried to kill it, and we returned that and something else, and then his 2 creatures, and we had to discard our hand, which was Genesis Wave and Crater Hoof. And then he killed our Diamond Valley and killed the Gaia's Cradle, but we ended up drawing the Vulturous Zombie, and we ended up getting there with a nice little team of attackers. Right, now hopefully this game does not glitch out on the replay. This game was just nuts. This is another one where we're upside down. So we're playing against Grand Arbiter, and our opener had 2 lands, a Wood Elves library, and yeah, it had the 2 lands library. If we hit one more land, we hit Wood Elves and ramp, so we should be okay. And since we're on the play, yeah, so I'm gonna try not to stop this one as much because I don't want to skits it out like the last game. So he plays Island Preordain. We draw Demonic Tutors. Plays Artifact Ramp. So we're gonna get greedy here. Play the Soul Ring, and I went and got Soul Ring to kind of help play around the tax effects, but he's missing white mana, so we're gonna get greedy again. Pay 8 more life. Play the Wood Elves, and then we're going to Explosive Vegetation, which he Factor Fictions in response to. So I split it up. Alright, I don't want him to have the Denser, so I give him Jace, Island, Felwaller Stone, thinking he's going to keep pile with a land, a Mana Rock, and a draw card, but he ends up keeping the Venser Think Twice pile. So we get our 2 lands and pass the turn. He finally gets his white mana, but by now we have like a ton of land. So we know he has the Venser, So we play Azusa, bog his yard, and play coffers. And then we're trying to bait out the fencer with Garuk. So hopefully, I mean, we can recast Garuk next turn, even through the tax effect. And I'm hoping he taps out to play his general or something, so we can land double in season first. But he does not tap out for anything. So he has 6 cards in hand. I'm almost sure he has a counter. I keep the 2 lands, play them, then we play double in season. And it resolves. So I'm thinking maybe he's just, he knows we have Garuk. And he's just going to counter that. But we go ahead and jam it anyways. And it resolves. So with double in season, we get the emblem. And then we cast our general. And we get to go search for a creature from our library and put it into play. And it's whenever you cast the spell, it's not when it resolves. So we go and get Lord of the Void. And he bounces it. Then next turn he O-rings, and this is a mistake in my mind, because, okay, Garuk, he's at 1. So, I mean, the worst we can do with him is plus him, and, maybe hit some creatures, and we already have the emblem, so that's irrelevant. So he O-rings him. This is where it gets a little nuts, because we still have creatures in hand. We just put those back, then we cast Primordial Sage, which he hinders. So we're going to go get a Acidic Slime, get our Garuk back, and emblem him again. So now we get 2 triggers. We're going to get Soul Harvest and Vulturous Zombie. Play a couple more lands. Play a Seedborn Muse. And here I decide we're just going to kill him. I mean, we have double in season out, and no need to drag the game out. So we get Avenger and Craterhoof off the triggers. Pumps all our team up, and we smack him for 140 damage. So that was a pretty cool game. Alright, well, those are the replays. I'm going to try to record some live games real quick with him, and I'll be right back.